For most people, gambling is a losing battle, but for one man, probability is his greatest ally. Welcome to I Can See the Success Rate, A Gambler's Dream. Let's meet our sad protagonist, Baiwu. Life has dealt him a tough hand as his landlord rudely kicks him out and changes the locks. With empty pockets and an unsuccessful book under his belt, it seems like Baiwu is headed for a rough patch. Sleeping on the streets becomes his only option, and even the prospect of washing dishes for a living looms over him. How long can he endure this challenging situation? Will his luck ever turn around? But hold on. Just when things seem bleak, an unexpected twist enters the scene. Baiwu, feeling desperate to change his fortune, takes a gamble and decides to try his luck in the lottery. He boldly approaches the counter and requests not just one but 5 tickets. To his surprise, each ticket has a peculiar percentage attached to it. Is this some sort of cosmic prank? Baiwu wonders if he's hallucinating due to exhaustion. Nevertheless, he decides to embrace the mystery and give it a shot. After all, who knows what surprises await? In a thrilling turn of events, Baiwu strikes gold with his very first ticket. The exhilaration of his win fills him with newfound confidence. Without skipping a beat, he buys another ticket, driven by a growing suspicion that the numbers on the tickets represent his chances of success. Empowered by his initial triumph, Baiwu finds himself buying even more tickets, now armed with 9 that boast a 100% success probability and one ominous ticket with a 0% chance. To put his doubts to rest, he bravely tests the 0% ticket. As expected, it yields no winnings, confirming Baiwu's extraordinary ability to accurately see the success probabilities. But wait, there's more. The shop owner, intrigued by Baiwu's behavior, steps in and warns him about the perils of gambling, advising him to exercise caution. However, our determined protagonist brushes off the cautionary words and persists in buying more tickets. The shop owner, thinking Baiwu is simply throwing away his hard-earned money, braces for disappointment. Yet, to his astonishment, just 10 minutes later, Baiwu lands a whopping $20,000. The shop owner can't help but marvel at Baiwu's incredible luck. With newfound excitement and confidence, Baiwu delves deeper into his extraordinary skill. He realizes that the numbers on the tickets denote the chances of winning the lottery, but the amounts remain a mystery. Oh, if only he could see those numbers too. Baiwu, undeterred by the shop owner's warning that luck can't last forever, boldly requests more tickets. As Baiwu's grin widens, the shop owner's skepticism grows. How can someone be so unbelievably lucky? The shop owner begrudgingly witnesses Baiwu's winning streak continue with 6 consecutive triumphs. It baffles him to no end. In a breathtaking moment of realization, Baiwu uncovers the secret behind the displayed odds. By cleverly rephrasing his questions and utilizing the odds to his advantage, he can outsmart the shop owner completely. Baiwu's brilliant manipulation of the situation turns his previously dim fate on its head. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is the most op person in Manhwa? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now back to the recap. The shopkeeper's eyes widened with a mixture of skepticism and awe. He was now convinced that Baiwu's luck wouldn't last forever, and advised him that life was still full of hardships. But little did he know that Baiwu had a few tricks up his sleeve, and with his newfound power, he could accomplish extraordinary things. Ignoring the shopkeeper's warnings, Baiwu boldly purchased 20 more lottery tickets, determined to put his luck to the test. The shop owner couldn't help but express concern, cautioning Baiwu not to get carried away and become addicted to his luck. But Baiwu simply grinned and reassured him, pointing to his earlier $20,000 win. He was content with his recent success, and confident that fortune was on his side. As Baiwu picked up the next ticket, his face suddenly lit up with excitement. But to the shop owner's delight, the ticket turned out to be empty. However, this was all part of Baiwu's clever plan. Ticket after ticket, he continued to reveal empty numbers, further reinforcing the shop owner's belief that Baiwu's luck had run out. Little did the shop owner know that Baiwu had secretly purchased a ticket with a staggering 30,000% chance of winning. A mischievous sparkle danced in Baiwu's eyes as he deliberately chose tickets with a mere 1% chance, carefully avoiding any suspicion about his supernatural powers. When Baiwu enthusiastically informed the shop owner about his improved luck, the owner, intrigued, promised to give him back $100, thinking Baiwu's luck had risen to a 1 in 10 chance. However, Baiwu's actions were about to take an unexpected turn. With a playful grin, Baiwu revealed the contents of another ticket, leaving the shop owner initially startled. Instead of the anticipated $10,000 win, it was merely $10. However, Baiwu's winning streak didn't stop there. Time after time he continued to win, leaving the shop owner astounded and convinced that Baiwu must be a supernatural being. Baiwu, determined to keep up appearances, acted grateful for each significant win, downplaying his abilities. The shop owner, however, remained confident that no matter how lucky Baiwu was, he couldn't accumulate many more dollars. Yet, to the owner's astonishment, Baiwu defied all expectations, winning a jaw-dropping $15,000. As Baiwu collected his winnings with a humble smile, he asked the shop owner to repeat what he had previously said about his luck. In that moment, the owner's mind whirled with realization. These winning chances were predetermined at the factory, and Baiwu had defied those odds time and time again. This revelation ignited a spark of excitement in the owner, who now saw Baiwu as an opportunity to profit from his business. Baiwu's gaze shifted to the remaining lottery tickets on the shelves, noticing their significantly reduced odds. He understood that it was time to stop, as the chances of winning had plummeted from 30 to 5. However, the shop owner, eager to capitalize on Baiwu's streak, insisted that he continue playing since he had already won a substantial amount of money. Baiwu, wise beyond his years, politely declined, emphasizing the importance of being diligent and thrifty with money. He didn't want to risk losing any more, no matter how small the amount. After all, he had already accomplished more than he could have imagined. Satisfied with his winnings, Baiwu's mind began to wander. Could his powers be utilized for purposes beyond the lottery? Before leaving the shop, he paused, pondering the chances of successfully opening the door. At first, the probability stood at a solid 100%, proving that his powers could indeed be applied to other things. But suddenly, the percentage dropped, and Baiwu swiftly stepped away from the door. In that very moment, an energetic husky burst through the glass, narrowly missing Baiwu as he gracefully evaded the dog and continued on his way. The shop owner's suspicion grew even stronger, having witnessed Baiwu's earlier cautious behavior when avoiding the dog. Baiwu, with an adventurous gleam in his eye, couldn't help but ponder the exhilarating prospect of deceiving the shop owner by posing as a renowned fortune teller. The odds of successfully fooling the owner were calculated to be a tantalizing 50%. Intrigued by this daring endeavor, Baiwu's mischievous mind wandered towards the possibility of claiming an ancestral lineage of fortune tellers. As he delved deeper into his thoughts, the probability soared to a thrilling 64%, significantly boosting his chances of convincing the skeptical shop owner. But Baiwu wasn't one to settle for just any fortune teller identity. Oh no. With a playful twinkle in his eye, he decided to take it up a notch. "Don't compare me to ordinary fortune tellers," he confidently exclaimed. "I hail from a distinguished lineage of Zhuo dynasty fortune tellers that have graced this world for a glorious 3,000 years. The shop owner, a staunch believer in science and a debunker of all things supernatural, couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. After all, if Baiwu truly belonged to such a famous family, how had he never heard of them? Undeterred, Baiwu spun his web of deception, weaving a tale of fortune-telling tradition that had been passed down through the ages in his family. He explained that his ancestors had discreetly practiced their art, avoiding direct association with major dynasty changes, which unfortunately led to their limited fame. This guy not only had a knack for seeing success rates, but he also possessed an uncanny ability to craft captivating stories. And lo and behold, as Baiwu continued his fabrication, the success rate steadily climbed. It was as if the very air in the shop was charged with the excitement of the unfolding deception. Encouraged by his growing triumph, Baiwu made his move, pointing towards a set of lottery tickets as evidence of his mystical powers. "Behold, these tickets hold the secrets of wealth and abundance," he proclaimed with theatrical flair. The success rate skyrocketed to a thrilling 80%, leaving the shop owner bewildered and captivated by the enigmatic Baiwu. Ever the master of embellishment, Baiwu further elaborated on his extraordinary journey, claiming that he had glimpsed his own fortune and even won the lottery, but had decided to cease his pursuit due to the heavens turning against him. The times he failed to win were merely celestial warnings. By this point, the shop owner was already thoroughly convinced that Baiwu possessed the powers of a genuine fortune teller. The young trickster wasn't done yet, though. He casually mentioned having had a premonition of danger while stepping outside, prompting him to swiftly check his fortune. Lo and behold, he discovered a foreboding sign of impending doom, which explained his quick retreat. Now fully convinced and even calling him master, the shop owner eagerly insisted on compensating Baiwu for his extraordinary services, yearning for a glimpse into his own financial future. Baiwu smiled, seizing the opportunity to put his skills to the test. "No need for payment," he replied with an air of mystique, claiming that his powers were intrinsically linked to karma. With a twinkle in his eye, he asked the shop owner what he desired to know about his financial fate. The shop owner, facing the impending demolition of his house, expressed his desire to ascertain the maximum compensation he could receive. Bai Wu, ever the clever charlatan, inquired about the ideal price per meter, and the owner promptly replied that it would be around $10,000. With this information in hand, Bai Wu prepared to astound the shop owner with his predictions. Confidently, Bai Wu assured the owner that the odds of him receiving a handsome compensation of $2 million were a resounding 100%. Emboldened by this seemingly infallible result, the owner dared to inquire about a compensation of $3 million. Without skipping a beat, Bai Wu once again replied with utmost certainty, 100%. The pattern repeated with a request for $4 million, yielding the same unwavering response. Finally, the shop owner, enticed by the allure of great wealth, took a leap of faith and asked about a staggering compensation of $5 million. Although the probability dwindled to a mere 10%, Bai Wu confidently selected just over $4 million as the answer he would provide to the eager owner. After all, $4 million was still an enormous sum. Curiosity tinged with a pinch of doubt filled the shop owner's eyes as he questioned the accuracy of Bai Wu's calculations. Sensing the need for validation, Bai Wu slyly suggested, "If you don't believe me, go ahead and call right now." Intrigued, the shop owner dialed the necessary number, and to their amazement, the decision-makers on the other end of the line agreed to provide the exact amount Bai Wu had predicted. Gratitude filled Bai Wu's heart as he thanked the shop owner for the opportunity, and as a token of appreciation, the shop owner insisted on presenting him with $300,000. Bai Wu accepted the generous sum with a gleeful smile, feeling as though he had cracked the very code of life itself. With his pockets filled and his spirits soaring, Bai Wu stepped out of the shop, knowing that with his newfound gold mine, he had the potential to rise to the very pinnacle of the world. As he sauntered along, something caught his eye. The familiar husky from earlier was still loyally by his side. Intrigued, Bai Wu tapped into his powers and soon discovered that the dog had lost its owner. Technically, thanks to the dog's role in his windfall, he had won $300,000. Determined to repay the pup's unwitting assistance, Bai Wu decided to embark on a mission to find its rightful owner. Following the energetic husky's lead, Bai Wu ventured forth, and within minutes found himself in the bustling embrace of Central Park. And there, like a stroke of serendipity, he beheld a vision of loveliness, a stunning waifu who seemed to radiate an otherworldly aura. Bai Wu couldn't help but wonder about the odds of this captivating girl being the very owner he sought. In his mind it was a resounding 100% certainty. Bai Wu's heart raced with excitement as he entered the shop. Little did he expect that the owner would be such a stunning girl. He had initially come here to showcase his skills and earn some money, but now he found himself captivated by the chance to talk to such a beauty. As he observed her, he noticed how effortlessly she took selfies, even in the midst of losing her dog. Turning towards Bai Wu and the husky, she mentioned that she owned a dog named Oreo, who bore a striking resemblance to the husky. Amused, Bai Wu couldn't help but realize that the girl wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, since she didn't recognize her own dog. Nonetheless, she continued to chat, drawing comparisons between the husky's bark and her own voice, as well as their similar coat colors. Unable to contain himself, Bai Wu finally broke the news to her that the husky was, in fact, her beloved Oreo. However, she brushed it off as a joke, convinced that her pet was tied to a bench nearby. It took a good 5 minutes for the realization to dawn upon her, and as she did, Bai Wu wasted no time adding her to his contacts. He couldn't help but feel thrilled to have such a beautiful girl in his phone, a first for him. As Bai Wu scrolled through the pictures of Oreo, he couldn't help but notice the dog's wild nature, seemingly tearing apart the entire house. If it were him, Bai Wu knew he would have been chased out by his landlord long ago. However, he refrained from criticizing, especially when the girl mentioned that the lock on her room had been replaced, leaving her with nowhere to go. Before bidding farewell, Bai Wu offered a piece of advice, suggesting that she stop renting and consider getting a place of her own. This enlightening thought sparked an idea in Bai Wu's mind. With his exceptional probability skills, he no longer needed to worry about paying rent. Buying a house would be much easier once he became rich. However, the lingering question remained. How could he amass the necessary funds to achieve this dream? The $300,000 he had won wasn't enough, so he needed to find a quick way to make money. And that's when it struck him: antique collections. Determined to make his fortune, Bai Wu ventured to a bustling fair filled with vendors selling everything from Han Dynasty jade to Tang and Song Dynasty calligraphy. He knew he had to be cautious because these seasoned sellers would surely view him as a novice, ready to take advantage of his inexperience. It wasn't long before a guy named Lee approached Bai Wu, offering him antiques inherited from his ancestors. Interestingly enough, his ancestor shared the same name as Bai Wu himself. Pretending innocence, Bai Wu listened intently, knowing that he possessed a hidden talent for identifying valuable items. In fact, his success rate was a remarkable 100%, indicating that the items presented were indeed genuine. However, something felt off to Bai Wu. He questioned his own knowledge of antiques and pondered whether these items truly held substantial value. To test the guy's credibility, Bai Wu casually inquired about the odds of finding an item valued over $10,000. The guy confidently responded with a disappointing 0%. Undeterred, Bai Wu decided to push further, suggesting a $5,000 valuation. Once again, the answer remained unchanged at 0%. It became clear to Bai Wu that the guy was attempting to deceive him and rip him off. Despite the offered discount, Bai Wu saw through the deceit, fully aware that the fair was rife with scammers. He knew he couldn't underestimate the value of the antiques and set his lower limit at $10,000. As Bai Wu strolled past the seller, he casually asked about the chances of finding an item valued at $10,000. The seller's response intrigued him, a 10% chance. Bai Wu continued to increase the price in his inquiries and found that the odds remained constant. Even when he asked about an item worth $50,000, the chances remained at 10%. Armed with this knowledge, Bai Wu skillfully negotiated a favorable deal, all while the guy planned to exploit his perceived inexperience. Just as Bai Wu was about to seal the deal, he stopped the guy in his tracks. Bai Wu knew exactly what he truly desired, an item with a guaranteed value of $500,000. While he may not have been an expert in identifying antiques, his exceptional probability skills allowed him to uncover numerous valuable items. This was only the beginning of Bai Wu's journey to becoming a legendary antique collector. The guy, unaware of Bai Wu's true capabilities, sees him as a naive individual. Little does he know that Bai Wu has a profound understanding that the age of an object does not necessarily determine its value. It's a tale of deception and cunning in the realm of antiques. Among a collection of 9 bronzes, only one of them is genuine, leaving the rest as mere imitations. The guy finds himself contemplating how to elevate the perceived worth of what seems like a worthless item. However, Bai Wu remains cautious, concealing his expressions expertly. You see, ever since gaining his extraordinary powers, Bai Wu has become quite overconfident. Intrigued by Bai Wu's reputation, the guy decides to test his skills. He presents a porcelain vase, emphasizing that collecting antiques requires both affinity and a keen eye. The guy claims that this particular vase is of exceptional quality, meticulously polished and exquisitely shiny, all for the humble price of $50,000. He adds that once resold, Bai Wu could amass a fortune. Yet Bai Wu is no ordinary observer. He wonders why the guy refrains from disclosing the price of the specific object he had chosen. Suspicion tugs at Bai Wu's mind, leading him to believe that the guy is unaware of its true value, which Bai Wu suspects to be at least $500,000. Now it's Bai Wu's turn to shine. With confidence in his abilities, he shares his realization that collecting requires not only affinity but also knowledge. The vase doesn't entice him. Instead, he insists on acquiring the bronze cup. The guy, taken aback, mentions that he obtained that cup in his hometown, and the price is fixed at a mere $8,000. Little does the guy know, Bai Wu's excitement skyrockets as he realizes he's about to acquire a cup worth $500,000 for a fraction of its true value. To validate his theory, Bai Wu employs his exceptional skill of probability. He questions the likelihood that he knows the real price, understanding that attempting to hide one's thoughts is an exercise in futility. The probability confirms his suspicions, and he decides to play the role of a poor rookie to negotiate a lower price. With a sly grin, Bai Wu asks the seller about the probability of purchasing the cup for a mere $2,000. To his delight, the odds are in his favor, displaying a resounding 100%. Emboldened by this revelation, he pushes further, trying his luck at $1,000. The probabilities remain high, but Bai Wu decides against excessive greed and proposes a fair purchase price of $2,000. The guy hesitates, realizing that selling the cup, even at a reduced price, won't be an easy task. Bai Wu seizes the moment, reminding the seller that if he doesn't want to part with it, then forget the whole deal. Left with no other choice, the guy reluctantly accepts Bai Wu's offer of $2,000. In the end, the guy spent $8,000 on 2 items, one of which he sold successfully to a girl the previous day. Meanwhile, Bai Wu manages to secure the coveted cup for a mere $2,000, making a substantial fortune along the way. However, the shop owner mistakenly assumes he shares the same triumph. Brimming with excitement, Bai Wu proudly boasts about selling an item he acquired for a few dollars for a staggering $8,000. The shop owner is left awestruck, believing he sold a pile of seemingly insignificant objects for the price of a genuine antique. Just when you think the tale has reached its climax, the plot takes an unexpected turn. The girl who purchased from Bai Wu the day before returns to his stall. The guy, prepared to inform her about the strict no refunds policy, is caught off guard when she reveals her true intentions. She's not there for a refund, she's there to purchase the brass cup. The girl anxiously asks the guy about the whereabouts of the cup, expressing her willingness to pay up to $50,000 for them. The seller stands dumbfounded. In a twist of fate, the girl surprises the seller by telling him that if his offered price isn't enough, she can offer even more, 60, 70, 80. Each increase hits the seller like a playful punch, leaving him incredulous. The tables have turned on the swindler, and he's been swindled instead. To test her limits, the seller sets the price at a whopping $100,000. Stunned, the girl agrees, causing the guy to fall backward in disbelief. Meanwhile, the guy next door informs the girl that the cup she desires has already been sold for a price of $2,000. Determined to retrieve the cup, the seller promises the girl that he will get it back. As they approach the scene, they notice a curious crowd. To their surprise, an old man is fervently bidding $300,000 for the bronze cup. Just then, a captivating girl enters the scene, offering the guy $550,000 for the cup. Intrigued by her beauty, Bai Wu realizes that with his charismatic powers, attracting pretty girls will be a cakewalk. He quickly recognizes her as the wealthy senior girl he had hoped to encounter. However, the girl finds Bai Wu repulsive and bluntly states that she's only there to buy the antique because of her grandfather, otherwise deeming it a waste of time. Knowing that the girl has a 100% chance of buying the cup, Bai Wu considers raising the price. He slyly greets the shopkeeper who sold him the object, purposely making him appear foolish for selling a valuable item at an incredibly low price. In response, both the girl and her grandfather engage in a bidding war, determined to outdo each other. As it turns out, the old man is named Li Wei Guo, an esteemed university history professor. Trying to manipulate the situation to further inflate the price, our protagonist urges them to discuss and decide who will purchase the cup. Aware of Bai Wu's tactics, the girl and her grandfather continue to raise their bids. Eventually, after negotiating with Li Wei Guo, the girl convinces him to let her buy the cup. In a surprising turn of events, she pays Bai Wu a staggering $600,000. He has managed to obtain 300 times the price at which she initially bought the cup. Before parting ways, Bai Wu, pretending to be interested in future transactions, requests the girl's contact information. Bai Wu was determined to make the conversation more engaging and fun with the girl. However, she wasn't impressed and told him to stop acting like he was older than her. This sparked Bai Wu's curiosity, and he asked about the chances of her being older than him. The answer was a resounding 0%. Undeterred, Bai Wu believed that a self-assured woman would make a great wife, and he knew just how to impress her. Harnessing his extraordinary abilities, Bai Wu delved into the mystery of her age. He discovered that she was also 20, just like him. With a mischievous grin, Bai Wu focused on determining the month she was born in. After eliminating the next 3 months, he deduced that she must be younger than him. Surprisingly, they shared the same birthday. Eager to ruffle her feathers, Bai Wu decided to take things a step further. Using his powers, he uncovered the exact time and date of her birth. To his astonishment, she was born just a minute after him. Now he knew that she wanted to assert her authority as an older sister, but he couldn't wait to prove her wrong. As she prepared to leave, Bai Wu was determined to stop her in her tracks. Confidently, Bai Wu revealed her age and even approximated the date of her birthday. The girl was taken aback, surprised that Bai Wu had it all calculated. Initially skeptical, she didn't take him seriously, but Bai Wu wasn't one to give up easily. To convince her, he provided more precise details, leaving the people around them awestruck. Some even mistook him for a fortune teller, especially when they saw the girl's astonished expression. However, not everyone was convinced. One person suspected Bai Wu of gathering personal information to harass the girl, which made him look like a pervert. Despite the skepticism, the girl intended to continue on her way. Bai Wu, however, took a bolder approach. He revealed the exact time of day she was born, down to the seconds. Intrigued, she decided to call her mother to confirm the information. 3 minutes later, her mother verified everything Bai Wu had said. Yet the girl remained hesitant and dismissed Bai Wu, thinking he was just playing games. Bai Wu approached her, trying to convince her that it was all a mere coincidence, but she felt he was treating her like a fool, especially after he mentioned the precise seconds of her birth. Bai Wu couldn't help but revel in her frustration, and decided to disclose that he had indeed made calculations to uncover these details. He then revealed that not all fortune tellers are liars, further piquing her curiosity. To her surprise, Bai Wu even mentioned the color of underwear she was wearing that day. At this point, Bai Wu realized that the girl hadn't mentioned her boyfriend. Using his powers, he discovered that not only did she not have a boyfriend, but she also harbored a strong aversion to men and had never fallen in love. Even Bai Wu was taken aback by this revelation. Feeling slightly embarrassed, the girl pulled Bai Wu away from the crowd to inquire about how he knew so much about her. Bai Wu nonchalantly explained that he simply lifted his finger and counted, but she remained skeptical. To further astonish her, Bai Wu revealed that he knew she had 3 moles on her body. By the way, the girl's name is Ching Ching. Bai Wu manages to get her contact before leaving since he's the Rizzler. He makes it clear to her that if she needs to buy any other antique or wants any divination, she is free to seek him out. The success rate of his abilities is incredibly high, allowing him to even know people's secrets. However, he didn't expect to come across such a pretty girl, and ends up using his powers to see through her. Bai Wu realizes that Ching Ching overheard him talking on the phone, so he suspects that she contacted her grandfather to reveal the secret she was keeping. Bai Wu uses his powers to corroborate this, but the probability rate constantly changes. Moments later, Bai Wu contacts Ching Ching to tell her that for 600,000 he will give her another divination. Bai Wu reveals that Ching Ching's secret cannot be hidden from her family, and everything indicates that it has already been discovered. Ching Ching panics and tries to find Bai Wu again. Bai Wu comments that Ching Ching's parents should contact her in an hour and a half, specifically in less than 5 minutes, and gives this information to Ching Ching so that she is not caught off guard. Sure enough, moments later, Ching Ching's parents call her about this secret. She has to explain herself well, and it is likely that her parents do not understand her. Without warning, Bai Wu receives a sudden call from his mother. His mother informs him that she has arranged a blind date for him. Bai Wu at first refuses, but ends up attending. He wants to appear as a polite gentleman after all. The girl he's going to go on a date with has blue hair and is named Mu Yi-er. As she arrives, he notices that Mu Yi-er is not alone. Ching Ching is following her. The probability that the two of them know each other is 100%. The two seem to be arguing, and Ching Ching even ends up crying, pointing a murderous glare at Bai Wu. The other girl introduces herself to Bai Wu. Her name is Mu Yi-er. She thinks Bai Wu is a very good man, and gets straight to the point. She wants them to be together. This shocks not only Bai Wu but everyone in the restaurant. Ching Ching is still in tears. Bai Wu doesn't know what to do, and because of that, Mu Yi-er thinks he's upset with her. Bai Wu tries to clear things up, but Mu Yi-er approaches him and tells him that she is serious. She then hugs him and wants to get even closer to him. Bai Wu has no idea what this woman is trying to do. Shortly after, Mu Yi-er ends up kissing him, all of this in front of Ching Ching, who is frozen. Mu Yi-er tells Bai Wu that it's time to go home to meet her parents. Ching Ching then runs out of the place. Bai Wu knows that despite everything that happened, Mu Yi-er didn't look happy at all. Mu Yi-er means it. She really wants to make Bai Wu meet her parents. The probability of this is 100%. So Bai Wu deduces that she's seriously looking for a boyfriend. She most likely just wants to get a boyfriend to make her parents happy, and indeed she does. Bai Wu tries to talk to her, but Mu Yi-er is arrogant, saying that he was the one who took advantage and now he wants to repent, but he doesn't. Bai Wu doesn't repent. It's just that he hasn't even said yes yet. What is Mu Yi-er thinking? Later, the two finally arrive at Mu Yi-er's parents' house, where Bai Wu is introduced as Mu Yi-er's boyfriend. Mu Yi-er's mother tells her that if she had a boyfriend, she should have told them earlier. Then Bai Wu listens to Mu Yi-er's father, who seems to be carrying a knife. Mu Yi-er tells both of them that they had a relationship since they were in high school, but they broke up due to studies. However, they unexpectedly got back together. Bai Wu is taken by the arm as Mu Yi-er's mum starts to cook for him. However, the parents will leave the two of them alone first. After Mu Yi-er's father leaves the room, Bai Wu wonders if she really is the biological daughter of those two, and yes, 100%. Mu Yi-er tells Bai Wu that this is the first time her parents have seen her with a boyfriend, and that's why they are so excited. Mu Yi-er's parents are trying to hear everything behind the door, so they have to keep quiet. The father also holds up a knife in case his daughter's new boyfriend is a bad guy. Bai Wu accidentally trips and Mu Yi-er's dad rushes into the room with a knife, but is quickly pulled out by her mother. After Bai Wu finishes talking to Mu Yi-er, he leaves but steps in his soaking wet shoes. The mother explains that they got wet when she was making soup. The mother, filled with warmth and affection, extends a heartfelt invitation to Bai Wu, urging him to stay the night. But Bai Wu, always the master of exaggeration and creativity, unleashes the most epic and outlandish excuse imaginable, leaving no room for doubt that he simply cannot spend the night there. With a twinkle in his eye, he bids farewell and heads off into the night. Mu Yi, unable to contain her amusement, dismisses him with a playful smile. As the sun rises on a brand new day, Bai Wu finds himself drawn back to the vibrant market he had visited before. Lo and behold, the familiar face of the disgruntled gentleman who had fallen victim to Bai Wu's mischief awaits him. The man is still nursing his wounds, both financial and ego-related, from their previous encounter. But to his astonishment, Bai Wu pays him another visit. Intrigued, the man wonders if it's mere coincidence or something else. Bai Wu's curiosity reaches fever pitch as he takes in the sight before him. The man, now inquisitive himself, asks Bai Wu how much he is willing to pay for an exquisite porcelain set. Initially, Bai Wu playfully suggests a modest sum of 60, but after a moment's reflection, he realizes it's far too low. Determined to be fair, Bai Wu ponders over an appropriate price. Intrigued, he questions the man about the authenticity of the set, secretly aware that among the 7 porcelains, there might just be one genuine antique hidden amidst the replicas. The thought sends shivers of excitement down Bai Wu's spine. Could these artifacts be worth a staggering 10 million? With newfound enthusiasm, Bai Wu boldly asks the man for the entire set, convinced that he has cleverly maneuvered his opponent into his trap. The man, grinning with satisfaction, confidently reveals the price tag, a seemingly affordable 600,000. Bai Wu can hardly contain his glee as he agrees instantaneously, snatching up the precious porcelain collection and disappearing into the bustling fairgrounds. Yet, as Bai Wu makes his triumphant escape, the man's initial joy gives way to a flicker of doubt. He suddenly realizes that there might have been genuine pieces hidden among the porcelain set he sold. Dismissing the thought as preposterous, he tries to put on a facade of nonchalance, determined not to admit that he may have once again fallen prey to Bai Wu's cunning antics. Just as the man begins to settle into his charade, a vibrant pink car pulls up, drawing everyone's attention. A captivating young woman steps out, her eyes brimming with determination. She seeks out the man, fervently demanding the return of the artifacts he sold to her the previous night. And to sweeten the deal, she offers a staggering 1 million for the items. That's a lot of money. What will happen next? Keep your eyes peeled for part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps like this. Last time on I Can See the Success Rate, we were introduced to a new waifu for our main character Bai Wu to add to his harem. Will she become best girl of the series? Find out in today's recap. Among the artifacts that capture the adventurous spirit of the young girl, Xiao Xiao, is a mesmerizing porcelain set recently acquired by Bai Wu. Little did Bai Wu know that this set held deep sentimental value for Xiao Xiao's beloved grandfather. Driven by her determination, Xiao Xiao approached Bai Wu, eager to make the porcelain set her own. But to her dismay, Bai Wu informed her that it had already been sold to another customer. Feeling disheartened and lost, Xiao Xiao found herself engulfed in a whirlwind of confusion, unsure which porcelain pieces were genuine. However, the compassionate shopkeeper tried to console her. He suggested that she apologize to her grandfather and let go of her desire for the porcelain set. But Xiao Xiao, being the resilient and headstrong girl she was, vehemently disagreed. She firmly believed that the porcelain was anything but fake, and she refused to give up without a fight. Little did she know, hidden within the delicate beauty of the porcelain set, lay a precious heirloom called Tang San Kai, cherished by her family for generations. To make matters worse, a mischievous man within the shop decided to taunt the shopkeeper. He boasted about selling a valuable bronze cup worth 600,000 for a measly 2,000. Adding insult to injury, he claimed to have sold a piece of porcelain worth a staggering 10 million for a mere 500,000. The shopkeeper's frustration grew, and Xiao Xiao's curiosity was piqued even further. Driven by her burning curiosity, Xiao Xiao began to inquire about the buyer of the porcelain set. Unbeknownst to her, Bai Wu was currently engaged in a meeting with an elderly gentleman, showcasing the porcelain pieces for a potential sale. To everyone's surprise, the old man revealed that he owned a centuries-old porcelain camel in his own home. Intriguingly, Bai Wu casually mentioned that a person named Wang had sold him the set, and coincidentally, he had been negotiating with someone named Wang. The old man's suspicions were instantly aroused, suspecting that Xiao Xiao, who coincidentally shared the same name, might have orchestrated the sale. With his extraordinary powers, Bai Wu delved deep into the mystery surrounding the Tang San Kai, determined to uncover the truth. Astonishingly, he discovered that the artifact did indeed belong to the old man. However, it appeared that the elusive Fat Wang might have stolen it. The odds seemed slim, but in a surprising twist, it turned out that the old man's own granddaughter was the one who sold the artifact to Wang. The old man enlightened Bai Wu, revealing that the Tang San Kai held an estimated auction value of a staggering 12 million. Intrigued by the significance of returning the cherished piece to its rightful place, Bai Wu received an offer to purchase it for 9 million, becoming its original rightful owner. Grateful for Bai Wu's assistance, the old man shared his contact information, expressing interest in future transactions involving valuable items. As Bai Wu departed from the scene, Xiao Xiao, the determined young girl from earlier, sprinted toward him. Playfully warning him to watch his step and avoid falling, she unknowingly revealed her true identity as Mr. Chi's granddaughter, the person responsible for selling the Tang San Kai. Bai Wu, with a twinkle in his eye, playfully suggested that perhaps it was destiny that brought them together. Caught off guard, Xiao Xiao insisted that Bai Wu release her, but in reality, she was the one holding on to him. Their fleeting encounter had to come to an end, as Xiao Xiao revealed she was preoccupied with an urgent matter. She promised to leave her contact information, eager to continue their interaction later. Introducing herself as Che Xiao Xiao, a girl now blessed with a newfound wealth, she pondered the exciting possibilities that lay ahead. Should she invest in a sleek new car or a dream house? Meanwhile, Bai Wu encountered Wang once again, who curiously inquired about the selling price of the coveted porcelain set. True to his nature, Bai Wu openly revealed the actual amount he received for it. Surprisingly, Wang's reaction was far from expected. He maintained an air of calmness, devoid of any apparent surprise, even though he had suffered a substantial financial loss. It became increasingly clear that Wang was harboring a secret agenda, his motives shrouded in mystery. With a determined heart, Xiao Xiao embarked on a journey to visit her grandfather, unsure of what their meeting would bring. As she approached his abode, a mix of apprehension and excitement filled her. Would she turn away or step inside? Her grandfather warmly invited her in, genuinely curious about her sudden visit. Perplexed by his unexpected presence, Xiao Xiao cautiously agreed, realizing that her grandfather had something to show her. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Who is your favorite female character in Manhwa? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now back to the recap. Xiao Xiao, always running late, finds herself in quite an awkward situation this time. Not only did her grandfather bring back the porcelain, but she's also acting weirdly. In a moment of realization, she remembers that the last time she acted like this, she accidentally sold his precious china for a measly $10. And guess what? It turns out she's done it again. Panic sets in as Xiao Xiao tries to escape her grandfather's wrath, desperately calling her grandmother to save her. Upset and flustered, she thinks Grandma might just intervene in the nick of time. But little did Xiao Xiao expect things to happen so fast. Meanwhile, Bai Wu ponders the earlier conversation with Xiao Xiao and recognizes that his vision is actually pretty good. Suddenly, he gets an eerie feeling and uses his powers to sense that Wang, the troublemaker, is plotting something against him. Although the system responds ambiguously, Bai Wu starts brainstorming all the possibilities. Maybe Wang plans to hire someone to take over, or continue gathering parts to confront him and try to outsmart him completely. The second option boosts Bai Wu's confidence. With the power to foresee success rates, there's no way he can lose to Wang. While contemplating, Bai Wu can't help but reflect on Xiao Xiao's reckless actions that accidentally earned him $200 from selling antiques. It's both amusing and pitiful, making him realize just how complex the world of rich people is. As he recalls the peculiar girls he's encountered so far, including Psy XL, Bai Wu hatches a bold plan to predict the leaks in the antique market ahead of time. As Bai Wu heads to the bus stop, he notices Xiao Xiao standing there too. Glancing at what she wrote on her nets, he can't help but think she's a bit naive. But that's beside the point because something doesn't seem right with that guy over there. Could he be a thief? No, it's worse. He's a pervert trying to get close to Xiao Xiao. Swiftly, Bai Wu sends him a message to warn him of the danger. However, Xiao Xiao, quick to judge, dismisses his help and calls him Crowmouth, throwing derogatory words his way. Feeling slightly hurt by her words, Baiwu retorts that he won't say a word if he foresees something happening. The pervert inches closer to Xiao Xiao, and Baiwu realizes she's oblivious to the danger. Just as he plans to intervene, Xiao Xiao surprises him by unleashing a flurry of blows on the pervert, displaying her skills like a pro wrestler. It's clear that Xiao Xiao's petite size is inversely proportional to her fighting prowess. Slowly but surely, Xiao Xiao begins to grasp that Baiwu can see things others can't. Fearing her reaction if she discovers that he was the one who bought the Tang Senkai, Baiwu decides it's best to make a quick exit. He yearns to meet the dealer, but the chances of that happening seem to be a mere 0%. With a creeping sense of unease, Baiwu's mind races, wondering if real gangsters are on this bus. But the answer reveals itself in an unexpected twist when Baiwu catches a glimpse of a mysterious figure setting fire to the bus right before his eyes. Panic sets in, and Baiwu knows he must take swift action. With the exact address and emphasizing the imminent threat, Baiwu implores the police to hurry. The gangster carries a dangerous arsenal of 8 or 9 litres of petrol, cranking up the stakes in this nail-biting situation. The police, now fully aware of the severity, demand proof from Baiwu to validate his claims. Caught without tangible proof to back his extraordinary knowledge, Baiwu finds himself in a precarious position. Little do the police know, he possesses an incredible superpower, but revealing it risks disbelief. Despite this setback, the police assure him that help is on the way, but Baiwu must face another challenge, identifying the gangster before it's too late. As Baiwu steps onto the bus, determination and apprehension fill the air. To his surprise, he notices Xiao Xiao, a fellow passenger, boarding the bus as well. Concern flickers in Baiwu's eyes as he wonders if her presence might complicate matters further. Their eyes meet, and a wave of nerves washes over him. All he yearns for is to find the gangster and escape this perilous situation. Just as Baiwu grapples with his worries, a call from the police interrupts his thoughts. The authorities inform him that they have already alerted the nearest officer, who happens to be on the same bus. Yet, the officer remains unaware of the gangster's identity, placing the responsibility on Baiwu's shoulders. He must devise a plan to pinpoint the culprit amidst the chaos. Realizing that discreetly transporting 9 or 8 litres of petrol is no easy feat, Baiwu deduces that the gangster must have stashed the flammable liquid in bottles concealed within a backpack. Armed with this knowledge, he proceeds cautiously through the bus, with Xiao Xiao following his every move. Suspicion hangs heavy in the air. In the midst of his search, Baiwu's attention is diverted when Xiao Xiao taps him on the shoulder, questioning his mysterious behaviour. Aware of the police officer's scrutiny, he employs a clever ploy, playfully referring to Xiao Xiao as a bouncer to attract attention. Tempers flare, and Xiao Xiao retaliates, preparing to strike Baiwu. But in a remarkable twist of fate, Baiwu's dodge inadvertently leads to Xiao Xiao opening the gangster's backpack, revealing the dangerous stash of petrol. Outraged, the gangster's fury intensifies. Desperate for assistance, Baiwu turns to the police officer, seeking their intervention. And in a surprising turn of events, Xiao Xiao unleashes a barrage of swift blows, incapacitating the gangster and effectively subduing the imminent threat. Astonishingly, it is revealed that Xiao Xiao is an undercover police officer. Xiao Xiao's eyes widened in disbelief as she realized the truth. Those innocent-looking bottles were actually filled with highly flammable petrol. The shocking revelation sent a surge of adrenaline through her veins. Just when she thought she had the situation under control, another bombshell dropped. Baiwu, the last person she expected, turned out to be an undercover police officer. How could this get any crazier? Curiosity piqued, Xiao Xiao mustered up the courage to approach Baiwu. With a mischievous grin, she playfully asked him if he was the mysterious informant who had alerted the police. Leaning in closer, she challenged him to spill the beans on how he had known about the imminent danger. But Baiwu had a condition. She had to promise to keep his secret locked away. Xiao Xiao, with a raised eyebrow, knew he couldn't just feed her a bunch of nonsense. She wasn't one to be fooled easily. The clock was ticking, and Baiwu needed to come up with an escape plan. Xiao Xiao, determined to uncover the truth, wasn't going to let Baiwu slip away that easily. With a quick step forward, she blocked his path, preventing his escape. Her eyes locked onto his, intensifying the suspense. Once more, she demanded an explanation. Baiwu, caught off guard, scrambled for an answer. He finally blurted out that it was all just a wild coincidence, and as a guardian of peace, it was his duty to maintain a harmonious society. Xiao Xiao wasn't convinced. She pointed out that Baiwu had called the police before he even boarded the bus. And not only that, he miraculously knew the exact amount of petrol the gangsters were carrying. It was too much of a coincidence to brush off as mere guesswork. Her mind whirled with possibilities as she contemplated taking him somewhere more private for a heart-to-heart conversation over a cup of tea. Bai Wu's heart raced. He could sense danger lurking. This girl was up to something, and it didn't seem like it would end well for him. Just when things were about to take a turn for the worse, a stroke of luck arrived in the form of Mu Yi-er. Coincidentally, his car had broken down, forcing him to send it for repairs nearby. Mu Yi-er, sensing the tension in the air, approached Bai Wu with a sly wink. The gears in his mischievous mind started turning, and an audacious plan took shape. Taking a deep breath, Bai Wu dramatically declared that he was actually Mu Yi-er's boyfriend. He launched into an over-the-top apology, feigning remorse for betraying Xiao Xiao's trust. The scene unfolded like a soap opera, capturing the attention of everyone around. The bystanders couldn't help but gossip about the juicy drama unfolding before their eyes. Bai Wu, with an accusatory finger pointed at Xiao Xiao, accused her of tormenting him and professed his undying love for his girlfriend, Mu Yi-er. It was a showdown straight out of a teen romance movie, with two girls fighting for one boy's affection. Mu Yi-er, playing her part flawlessly, joined the act to fend off Xiao Xiao's advances, protecting her boyfriend from any further disturbance. Yet, despite Bai Wu's theatrics, Xiao Xiao refused to back down. Determined and resilient, she shot Bai Wu a stern gaze, punctuating her determination by delivering a swift punch to his stomach. The impact echoed through the air, momentarily silencing the onlookers. With a final warning to be wary of Bai Wu's true nature, Xiao Xiao made her exit, leaving behind a trail of suspense and bewilderment. The punch had hurt, but it was a temporary resolution to the problem at hand. As for Mu Yi-er, she offered her assistance to Bai Wu as a gesture of gratitude for his past help, leveling the playing field between them. But the story doesn't end there. Our beloved red-headed Qing Qing, the embodiment of jealousy itself, had been silently observing from the shadows. The next day, Bai Wu hops into his brand new car, thinking to himself that if he keeps toying with those girls, he'll end up going nowhere. So he decides to steer clear of Qing Qing, avoid all the trouble, and focus on making some serious dough. All Bai Wu wants is money, after all. Off he goes to the antique place once again, but to his dismay, Wang is nowhere to be found. A fellow there informs Bai Wu that Wang went off to the countryside to buy some stuff. That means no treasures from Wang today. But hey, no biggie. He can still check out other stalls. Or so he thought. Turns out the odds of finding any treasures that day were a whopping 0%. It's as if the universe was playing a prank on him. Bai Wu scratches his head, wondering why the system is showing him a different story than the day before. But he shrugs it off, determined to search nonetheless, oblivious to the fact that Qing Qing is hot on his trail. And just a few minutes later, something extraordinary catches Bai Wu's eye at a gentleman's stall. A genuine treasure. The man offers him a price of $3,000, or a 5% discount if he prefers. Bai Wu, feeling a bit cheeky, tells the man he'd prefer a 50% discount, and to his surprise, the man immediately agrees. It's as if the guy has no clue about the true value of the item. Bai Wu is on the verge of sealing the deal when, out of the blue, Qing Qing swoops in and offers the man the original price of $3,000. The man jumps at the opportunity, leaving Bai Wu scrambling to convince him to sell it to him instead. He even offers $10,000, but Qing Qing, not one to back down, raises her bid to $30,000. Now the stall owner realizes the item is more valuable than he thought, making it harder for him to sell. Feeling the pressure, Bai Wu goes all in with a bid of $50,000, throwing down the gauntlet and challenging Qing Qing to surpass it. And guess what? Qing Qing slams back with a jaw-dropping bid of $100,000. Bai Wu's attempt to outsmart her fails miserably. She sees right through his tricks. Defeated, Bai Wu has no choice but to admit his loss. Qing Qing made her offer without breaking a sweat. It's clear she did it on purpose, but she's no fool to engage in a bidding war. The system seems to agree, but Bai Wu can't help but feel frustrated. The stall owner hands over the object to Qing Qing, who quickly recognizes its genuine Ming Dynasty heritage, acknowledging Bai Wu's skills. From that point on, Qing Qing tails Bai Wu like a shadow, sabotaging his every move at every stall they visit. She's doing it intentionally, and no one can stop her. However, she does offer Bai Wu a choice, either increase the price of his bids or settle for fake items. But money is no issue for her, so she doesn't bat an eye. Qing Qing has dug deep into Bai Wu's background, even uncovering details about the car he purchased the day before. She playfully remarks how everything happened so suddenly for him. Bai Wu casually claims it was just pure luck, and that he earned that money legally, without engaging in any criminal activities. Qing Qing reminds him of his previous claim that he could calculate everything. Based on her thorough investigation, Bai Wu was an ordinary person who didn't inherit any fortunes. She teases him, wondering what kind of shady tactics he used, and bluntly tells him that he'll never make it to the top. Ching Ching goes as far as threatening Bai Wu, vowing to personally cut him off from his aspirations. She warns him not to even try to find an escape route, emphasizing his helplessness. This girl is crazy. Bai Wu confidently declares that Ching Ching won't be able to stop him, but she fires back with a guarantee that she won't let him earn a single penny. The stakes are high as Bai Wu embarks on a strategic plan to outsmart Ching Ching. Instead of making purchases, Bai Wu takes an unconventional approach. He engages in conversations with various vendors, leaving Ching Ching puzzled by his actions. Little does she know, Bai Wu is secretly striking deals with each seller, ensuring that he buys out their entire stock. Ching Ching believes Bai Wu is underestimating her, and just as he is about to seal the deal, she swoops in to try and claim all the items for herself. Bai Wu pleads with her to not go too far, but Ching Ching is determined to thwart his every move. She had made it clear that he wouldn't earn a single penny, and she intends to stick to her word. Bai Wu attempts to reason with Ching Ching, highlighting the sheer quantity of items available and reminding her that she can't possibly buy them all. He accuses her of relying solely on her words to intimidate him. This stings Ching Ching's pride, and she responds by buying everything at an additional 10% markup. With an air of authority, Ching Ching urges the salesman to act swiftly and demands an address for delivery. She mocks Bai Wu, believing she has outmaneuvered him despite his fortune-telling skills. However, Bai Wu's smile reveals his secret triumph. He had struck a clever agreement with the sellers, ensuring they split the profits with him. Some sellers had already transferred the money to his account. Ching Ching, now looking foolish, becomes infuriated with Bai Wu. Bai Wu cunningly conspired against Ching Ching, defying her declaration that he wouldn't earn a single penny. He taunts her as she storms off in anger, relishing in his victory. As Ching Ching retreats, Bai Wu smugly tells her to leave slowly. However, his moment of triumph is short-lived, as he receives a shocking system update that leaves him completely stunned. Bai Wu, the newly rich protagonist, is a little on edge despite his fortune. He's worried about Ching Ching and her family's potential mischief. But hey, the upgraded system he possesses seems to be a mysterious enigma. Will it actually make a difference? That's a puzzle for later. Right now, Bai Wu is confident in his skills and strength, yet he lacks connections with powerful individuals. To rake in the big bucks, he needs to expand his network, but how on earth can he make that happen? Suddenly, a dapper gentleman approaches Bai Wu. It's none other than Ching Ching's butler. Bai Wu assumes Ching Ching sent him for protection, but it turns out to be a delightful mix-up. The butler reveals that Ching Ching actually wants to apologize by inviting Bai Wu to a star-studded celebrity gathering. This news is odd since it doesn't align with Bai Wu's understanding of Ching Ching's character. However, Bai Wu realizes that attending this event presents a golden opportunity to meet influential and affluent personalities. It's the perfect chance to expand his network, so he agrees without hesitation. An hour later, Bai Wu arrives at the event, where Ching Ching warmly welcomes him and introduces him to an array of famous individuals. He can't help but feel a tad nervous standing face to face with these renowned personalities. Ching Ching, mischievous as ever, teases him about his apparent discomfort in the presence of the elites. To overcome his jitters, Bai Wu cleverly imagines these celebrities using the restroom. Instantly he feels at ease. Taking advantage of this newfound confidence, he introduces himself to the celebrities, much to Ching Ching's surprise. She realizes Bai Wu has shed his nerves within minutes. As they all sit down, Ching Ching expresses her astonishment at Bai Wu's ability to converse with the stars. Confidently, he assures her that there's no difference between a celebrity and an ordinary person. Ching Ching playfully hints that he'll soon discover the truth. In a thrilling turn of events, a bald gentleman initiates a discussion about a charity auction. Ching Ching possesses a priceless Ming Dynasty porcelain plate and entrusts it to Bai Wu, given his expertise in antiques. It's now up to him to estimate its value and bid on behalf of Ching Ching. She emphasizes that this is a fantastic opportunity for him to earn a stellar reputation among the celebrities, ensuring a brighter future. Bai Wu gladly accepts the responsibility. With a guaranteed successful auction and the system at his disposal, Bai Wu feels invincible. He agrees to participate in the auction. As the charity auction nears its grand finale, Bai Wu gears up for his big entrance. Yet he notices Ching Ching giving him a peculiar look. Something seems off. Bai Wu's instincts tell him that there's a trick up her sleeve. Curiosity piqued, he proceeds to introduce himself to the crowd, eager to see what Ching Ching has concocted. And that's when it hits him. The auction item turns out to be a roll of toilet paper. The crowd was in disbelief as they stared at the most unexpected item up for bidding. Toilet paper. Yep, you heard that right, folks. Who in their right mind would think of auctioning off toilet paper? But hold on tight, because there's more to this story than meets the eye. Bai Wu, our clever protagonist, already had a hunch that things weren't going to be that simple. He knew there was a twist brewing, and boy was he right. You see, Bai Wu had spotted Ching Ching's sneaky moves. He wondered when she swapped the actual items right before she dropped her earring, and he kindly picked it up. Talk about an elaborate plan. But our hero wasn't fooled. In that split second, he caught a glimpse of the real deal. It was genuine, no doubt about it. Bai Wu couldn't let this slide. He had to find a way to save the day. Enter the bald man with a witty remark. If you're feeling the call of nature, my friend, now's the time to go. Meanwhile, Ching Ching watched with a mischievous smile, enjoying the unfolding drama. But Bai Wu knew better than to flee. He couldn't bear the thought of being looked down upon by Ching Ching, and the embarrassment would haunt him forever. Nope, he had to turn the tables and come out on top. The crowd urged him to leave, thinking he had nothing to show, but our hero wasn't giving up just yet. The bald man insisted that Bai Wu step down from the stage, but he couldn't afford to do that. He had to hold on a little longer because he knew the success rate of this auction was 100%. There had to be a way out, and Bai Wu had full confidence in his abilities. Not only was he skilled in his craft, but he also had a way with words that hadn't been in vain. He declared to everyone that this seemingly ordinary roll of toilet paper was in fact a precious gift. As Bai Wu's heartfelt performance unfolded, Ching Ching's smile slowly faded. But he couldn't steal the spotlight for long. Bai Wu continued to weave his tale, revealing a deeply personal story. When he was just a young boy, he cried a lot and became the target of laughter. To comfort him, his parents gave him a unique gift, a roll of toilet paper. Yes, you heard it right again, folks. That roll was meant to wipe away his tears. Tragically, his parents passed away, leaving behind a mountain of debt and that single roll of toilet paper as their only inheritance. Bai Wu reminisced about his father's words, urging him to be strong in the face of life's struggles. But the weight of his emotions overwhelmed him, and he longed to tear off a piece of that paper to wipe away his tears. Yet he reminded himself to stay strong and persevere, and so he brought that very roll of toilet paper to this incredible auction. Now hold your horses. Before you get all sentimental, it's time to reveal the truth. Yes, folks, the whole story was a lie. Bai Wu presented the roll of toilet paper as a symbol of his personal struggle, and at this pivotal moment he was willing to auction it off for charity. Ching Ching was left stunned in a not-so-good way by this unexpected turn of events. But guess what? The atmosphere in that room was electric, and Bai Wu's words seemed to have no effect, or so it seemed. Because there was one person who found the story utterly fascinating and was ready to shell out a whopping 100 million for that roll of paper. Talk about a done deal. And just like that, the auction came to a close. Bai Wu had done it. No wonder he possessed the power to see the success rate and outsmart everyone. He had triumphed over Ching Ching's evil intentions once again. Sure, she tried to play it off as mere luck, but she warned Bai Wu that the next encounter wouldn't be so easy. While Bai Wu had saved her reputation, his dreams of rubbing elbows with celebrities seemed to fade away. Without Ching Ching around, nobody paid attention to him. So our hero resolved to work hard and make some serious cash. Because let's face it, money brings status and dignity, right? But wait, there's a twist in this twist. As Bai Wu ponders his next move, he realizes that the guy who bought his precious roll of toilet paper is none other than Mu Yi-er's acquaintance. Bai Wu uses the system and stumbles upon a revelation. Mu Yi-er and that mysterious guy are not only in business together, but they're also planning to get married. As Bai Wu contemplates how the system suddenly became so astute, possibly due to an upgrade, he finally comprehends why Mu Yi-er treated Ching Ching the way she did. The world of the wealthy is undoubtedly intricate and not a realm he wants to navigate any longer. Bai Wu firmly believes that making money with a peaceful mind is a serious affair. Hence, he resolves to seek an assistant within the antique circle, the only circle he's truly acquainted with. However, amid his musings, Bai Wu finds himself still missing the enigmatic Wang the seller, wondering if he has stumbled upon any remarkable treasures lately. And what does the system have to say? Well, it discloses that there are indeed treasures to be unearthed from Wang. This piques Bai Wu's curiosity even further, since Wang always seems to have exceptional items, yet somehow he's the one reaping the fortunes. Collaborating with Wang, who boasts an excellent reputation in the antique circle, emerges as a tantalizing possibility. Having Wang as his assistant could prove instrumental for Bai Wu's future endeavors in the antique realm. The very next day, filled with anticipation, Bai Wu pays Wang a visit. To his dismay, Wang claims to have nothing for sale, but Baiwu reassures him that he's only there to discuss potential cooperation. Recognizing Wang's uncanny knack for acquiring remarkable artifacts and Baiwu's innate ability to discern their value, he sets out to persuade Wang that their partnership could be truly extraordinary. With an earnest proposal, Baiwu suggests selling items together and splitting the profits evenly, 50-50. However, Wang, skeptical of the need for such collaboration, questions why he should join forces with Baiwu when he's been in the business for so long and is well versed in its intricacies. Trust doesn't come easily to Wang, and he suspects Baiwu might be there merely to embarrass him once again. In a fit of frustration, Wang angrily instructs Baiwu to leave. Aware that pushing any further would only incite Wang's ire, Baiwu tactfully retreats, confident that another opportunity to discuss collaboration will present itself. Just as Baiwu is about to depart, he notices a pair of individuals approaching Wang. Intrigued, he wonders if they're looking to buy or sell something. To his astonishment, they unveil the 7-star cow sword, a relic of great significance. Baiwu's inquisitive mind immediately questions its authenticity, and lo and behold, it turns out to be a forgery, much to no one's surprise. These cunning individuals aim to take advantage of Wang's naivety. Baiwu, captivated by the counterfeit aspects of the sword, can't help but wonder what precisely makes it fake. Wang, having thoroughly examined the sword, smugly assumes that everything is in order, proudly flaunting his expertise in the business. Mistakenly assuming Baiwu's interest in purchasing the sword, Wang lashes out at him. Swiftly correcting the misunderstanding, Baiwu proposes a daring wager to Wang. If he can prove that the sword is indeed a fake, then Wang must agree to collaborate with him in the future. Unconvinced by these terms, Wang initially rebuffs the proposition. Undeterred, Baiwu casually inquires about the item's price, a staggering $500,000. Sensing an opportunity, Baiwu confidently assures Wang that if his suspicions are proven wrong, he'll pay 10 times that amount. With a mix of curiosity and skepticism, Wang hands Baiwu the sword, urging him to swiftly expose the alleged forgery. Baiwu scans his surroundings until he spots a suitable object to strike the blade with, leaving everyone present utterly flabbergasted. And there it is, the gem dislodges, inciting Wang's anger. However, Baiwu's mischievous maneuver reveals a secret beneath the gem, a hidden QR code, unequivocally exposing the sword's counterfeit nature. Armed with irrefutable evidence, Baiwu calmly asks Wang if he's now willing to join forces and embark on a fruitful collaboration. Wang fearlessly confronts the scheming individuals who sought to cheat him. Ready to teach them a lesson, he charges forward, but alas, they swiftly scamper away in terror. Intrigued by this escape, Wang turns to his trusted companion Baiwu, seeking answers. How did he know that the knife was a fake? Could it be that Baiwu was behind the devious plot? Curiosity piqued, Wang confronts Baiwu, convinced of his involvement in the elaborate ruse. However, Baiwu, with a mischievous glint in his eye, assures him that if he possessed a treasure as grand as the legendary 7-star sword, he wouldn't be seeking collaboration. A cryptic question hangs in the air. Does Wang truly desire to uncover the truth behind Baiwu's knowledge? At this moment he hesitates, not yet ready to face the revelations. Will Baiwu be able to set up a deal? Will our girl Xiao Xiao appear again? Keep your eyes peeled for part 3. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps like this.